Shout out to the old school, back in the days. Missing all the good times, don't let the memories fade. Shout out to the old
All right. Thank you for joining us. This is News and Views with
Dylan,
myself, Ryan, and co-host Jesse will be joining us. News and Views is a weekly half-hour long news program for those who want to get behind the headlines for analysis, interviews, and alternative perspectives from a decidedly progressive point of view.
each week discussions exploring important stories internationally, regionally, and locally. As in all things Radio Regent, the program is dedicated to inclusivity, diversity, and positivity.
Very sweet. Let's briefly touch on the weather, shall we, Dylan?
Let's take a look. We're down at Billy
Why don't we
Bishop.
go to Billy Bishop? Because today was feeling a little bit cold.
I layered excessively this morning.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and read this here?
I'm still layered right now. I'm surprised to see that tonight we'll be enjoying a low of 6, but right now it is 7 degrees.
Okay.
Sunny, clear skies, mainly sunny. Temperature at 7.1 degrees.
Nice.
Air pressure at 102.1, like the radio station.
Cool.
And gusting winds from the east to northeast from 41 up to 52 kilometers an hour. Visibility at 16 kilometers if you're out there driving today on the way home. Humidity's at 58%. So though it is a bit cool, you will notice a bit of moisture in the air. Tonight we're looking at a chance of showers, 30% chance with 6 degrees. Tomorrow heating up to 20 degrees Celsius with thunderstorms over the weekend. Very wet and quite cool
Okay.
into Saturday and Sunday.
But you know what? This is not April weather. This is usually what happens,
This
right?
is exactly what we need.
Yeah. And it helps the plants, right? This wetness.
We just have to tolerate it and be done with it, and then we'll all reap the benefits.
Super, super cool. Whole bunch of things happening right now, but off the top of my head, you have an event happening tonight, don't you?
Yeah, tonight at the Groove Bar on the Danforth, we've got a amateur night comedy show, open mic style.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked actually to be one of the comedians, so I got 7-minute set
Cool.
tonight at the Groove Bar in Danforth. It's just west of Woodbine and Danforth on the north side, right next to Pizza Nova.
Beautiful.
No outside food.
Okay.
They do have a great menu.
Sweet.
But I've already learned from bringing pizza in there before.
Not a good idea.
But like I said, it'll run from 10 till about 11:45, and there will be 12 fresh artists who each have about 7 minutes. So we have no idea what's going to happen. Please come out and support. There's no cover. It's free. Just don't forget to tip your waitress.
Beautiful.
Or bartender or waiter
Well said.
or however they identify.
Cool. Are you excited?
I'm trying to contain myself.
Lots of things going on in Toronto in terms of reshaping of the city. Have you been hearing all about Ford and the Ontario Place?
I have. There's a new amalgamation of Science Center and Ontario Place coming to the lake.
That's right. And it seems like, Ontarians and Torontonians are a little upset with this whole spa idea. There's going to be like an independent spa potentially that's going to be set up in Ontario Place.
I think what people don't understand is like there's a lot of lakefront to be prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, yeah, Ontario
Well
Place
said.
will get exclusively given large, long-time Toronto organizational members. Science Center. If you look at
Same thing.
If you look at the state of the Science Center right now, it was built in like the 80s.
I know, it's
It
crumbling.
is crumbling.
Yeah,
but it does
yeah.
have its own IMAX center, just like Ontario Place, which is suitable for a quick, seamless transfer to the lake.
True.
And it's a better area for more tourism in the summertime, because who goes up to Don Mills if they're from out of Canada?
Well said. You know what? I actually, for the first time in a long time, I don't think that this plan is like a horrible idea. I just think maybe there could have been a little more consultation.
They could have done it sooner when Ontario Place first left the lake.
Okay.
If they did it
fair
immediately
enough.
then, but I don't believe that the current mayoral and municipal governments were thinking about that.
True. Well said. This has become a giant big ticket item for mayoral candidates, talking about what's going to happen with the Ontario Place. Speaking of mayoral candidates, there's a lot of them. We've got like over 40. Have you been taking a look at the different options, my friend Dylan?
The only thing I've been looking at is how slow traffic is moving in the city and how fast myself and other cyclists are moving through
Okay.
the city.
Fair
I don't
enough.
pay attention to who these people are.
Okay.
If they deserve to have the spot, they'll have the spot and they'll do the right thing. But I will vote when it comes time to. I'm just too busy.
Right. I mean, let's hope. Let's hope that they do the right thing. Let's hope we elect the right mayor.
Right.
I understand what you're saying. Once they get the power, they're going to use it however well they may.
Once we get down to the wire and I see who's actually done the work, then I'll make a consideration.
Okay. I don't want to turn this broadcast into anything really hugely political, but my family and I are Olivia Chow supporters.
Well, fair enough. I think she's a great woman.
Cool.
And I think as the widowed
Jack Layton?
of Jack Layton, I believe she's got a lot. She is full of ideas.
Yeah.
Both from her departed husband, as well as things she has seen in light of his passing and just moving forward as we continue in this world as it spins and spins and spins.
Cool. Well said. Did want to talk to you a little bit about something because you and I have been discussing warming centers in Toronto and you had a lot of great feedback on that. There has been a change, Dylan. And that is Toronto warming centers would be open at -5 Celsius under changes proposed by city staff.
It's a good step, but it's in the wrong direction.
Talk to me. Why?
Temperatures aren't reflective of humidity and moisture.
Well said.
It could be 7 degrees. You can see your breath.
Right.
That means that there's humidity and moisture.
Okay.
And then it rains on all your stuff and the sun doesn't come out tomorrow.
Right.
Or the next day. So all your stuff gets moldy. And if you wear it, you're at risk of getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what they don't understand. It's nice to have people that understand the shelter system.
Councillor Shelley Carroll, sorry to interrupt you, called the proposed change an important first step.
Okay, so maybe what was her name there?
Shelley Carroll.
Okay, so maybe Shelley Carroll actually understands the effects of humidity. Yeah.
Does say staff will continue to work to secure additional warming centers and sites. I mean, that would be great, right?
This is the season where it's so rainy.
Yeah.
So like, why don't you just invest in umbrellas at least? Like, you see anybody who's precariously housed on the street with an umbrella? I don't think so.
Right. Yeah, I think we need to take more of a compassionate approach. I've been looking at the news at what's been happening in Vancouver in Hastings Street. And ever since I think like a week or two ago, they've been clearing people out of the streets. But and they've been doing it in a very aggressive way. Why not bring food or like help people instead of kicking them out? Because as I said last show, they're kicking them off of Hastings Street, but then they're just going into like alleyways.
I think there's a good thing about giving people food, but on Hastings Street and certain streets down there, it's not about food, it's about drugs.
Okay.
Now, people who are withdrawing from drugs and coming down off drugs and chasing drugs do not care about food.
Well said. Okay, fair enough.
Just to be honest, in my opinion.
Fair enough. Then I'll rephrase that. I mean, I do think food is important, but I think that we need to, instead of doing we need to focus on treatment and rehabilitation, not just safe supply. Like everyone is just getting high forever.
I agree that the mental health aspect of a lot of addiction-based struggles are not addressed in a way that can be sustained realistically. And so for me, I feel that yes, there's a huge need for infrastructure for substance abuse counseling and all kinds of stuff like that, but until the city of Vancouver, the city of Toronto's done a great job with risk prevention and safe sites and needle disposals, but Vancouver is a very rich city as well, and I think they isolate and know that most of the problems are stuck in these smaller areas, and I think they just maintain and contain those areas to not allow it to spill out into the rest of the city.
Okay.
So there's two different approaches. There's West Coast and there's East Coast.
Okay. Thank you for commenting on that. I went to Vancouver recently and was sort of shocked by like the income and inequality of it all.
It's the same thing you can see in San Francisco.
Yeah, well said. And parts of Toronto.
But California is a sanctuary state. BC is not a sanctuary state. But they do have new laws that are reflective of working area to fix and support certain areas of.
Okay. Well, speaking of support and community, I do want to bring it back a little bit to Toronto.
Yeah, let's bring it back to some light.
Some light. Artscape definitely offers light. Daniel, right out of Daniel Spectrum Building where we are. Artscape Summer Series is going to be happening. And what they're doing is they're looking to partner with 6 to 7 community organizers to deliver free outdoor arts and cultural programs, events, and installations in Regent Park from July to September 2023, of course, this year. To get information about this, please be sure to email fjallil@artscape.ca for more information about that. Certainly sounds like it's going to be a really neat creative time. We have a wonderful spark of energy that has just entered. Jesse is here. How you doing, Jesse?
Which microphone am I? Am I in?
Let's
Am I
get him
in?
up there.
Is that happening? Is that one? That one?
We got you.
We're live?
You're here. You're safe. You're sound.
Wow, finally. It only took 34 minutes.
Oh dear. So that was the TTC. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's the beautiful 506, which
Okay.
well, actually this may be something that residents of Regent Park will be affected by. The 506 soon is going to be having some track work done at the intersection of Gerrard and Coxwell, the lower intersection, that is. And that's going to last from early May until late July, tentatively. And at that time, there's going to be 2 separate phases of construction. And during the first phase, the 506 streetcar is going to be redirected at Broadview, heading south, and then going across on Queen and then up Kingston Road. I don't know where to, allegedly to like the end of the line.
Okay.
And there's going to be a replacement bus running the remaining length of that distance, which is where I live. So that'll be even more fun than usual. During phase 2, there will be, no, I guess it'll be the same for Regent Park folks, but the 22 bus will not exist, and the 506 replacement bus will run up Coxwell to Danforth, west towards Greenwood, and then back south down Greenwood onto Gerrard before continuing the route. So it's all going to be very complicated and very convoluted.
I'm actually impressed that you just came in off the street and you had all this in your head.
Well, I have received a couple of notices in the mail, and I see this and I'm very angry because I'm like, well, I know this needs to happen, but like the TTC already sucks, and it's going to be even more hard and annoying for me to go anywhere because that's like my main line.
Right. Okay.
So that'll be fun.
The other week, I learned about a new 121 Esplanade bus that goes from Bridgepoint Health Center all the way down to Union Station.
That is the
Just
thing.
over here, and I just saw it the other day.
Yeah.
And I thought it was the most amazing thing, but then I started riding my bicycle.
Oh, okay.
And then you're like, I don't need that.
Now I just ride past it every day.
Oh, man. Show it who's boss.
Jesse, we have touched on mayoral candidates.
Oh, I already missed that, eh?
Yeah, no worries. We can come back to it. We talked a little bit about Ontario Place and the new
Science Center amalgamation.
Yes, and
Okay.
Dylan brought up some good points. Maybe it's needed. For God's sake, the original Science Center is crumbling to the ground.
You know, I haven't been in a really long time, but I've been thinking of going recently.
But it's
Oh,
all
like-
the way up on Don Mills.
Yeah, it's not exactly close for people who live in the city core.
And if tourists come to Toronto, and then they got to go all the way up to Don Mills to see the Science Center.
Which is funny because I don't know if you already touched on this, but some of the people apparently living in the area of where it is now were kind of complaining about like it's going to take our tourism away.
Right.
Like, who
It's going to turn
who goes
into,
up there for any other reason?
It's probably going to maintain, like, they do have a large acreage of, like, just forest space. So maybe it'll be a conservation area and small park space, but then they'll probably develop condos as well. 'Cause that's what they do.
I think Ford even said already, he's like, we need to put houses there. We need to put lots of high density houses. And I'm like, oh, that's good. But then thinking more about it, it's like, oh, you have a lot of developer buddies, so you probably just want to line their pockets.
But it is
Yeah.
the perfect park space because it hasn't been touched for almost 45 years.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But arguably, but what's it going to be out there then? Just basically
Just
brand new
nature.
houses?
Well, I guess
Like, is there anything? Like, is there any like tourist attraction to go to other than like condos and houses?
just the mall.
Okay. Fair
There's
enough.
the
there's
mall.
the Aga Khan Museum is kind of up there. That's one
true.
thing.
True.
Also, the Japanese Canadian Cultural Center, but that's kind of niche.
Right.
That's all I know of in that area
Okay.
whatsoever. Those 3 things, and the Science Center is probably one of the bigger draws.
I remember the one thing I remember specifically from the Science Center,
It's what?
and it's like content disclaimer warning. It is a little bit like triggering is there's a box that you can go into, and you press this button, and then the wall slowly closes in on you.
That's slightly
Whoa.
terrifying.
But you can see if you look at the floor that it stops, because you can see the line where it stops. But it's
Okay.
like a little bit of an exhilarating.
That's
Will I
scary.
be crushed by this box thing?
Yikes.
Well, I was a kid who was really into entomology, study of insects, so I liked their ants. They've got a whole bunch of neat ant colonies that I remember.
Huh. I remember the bodies, seeing the ads
oh,
for the bodies.
that
I
was
never
so
actually went to
weird.
see it, but I would see the ads of the subway in
Is
high
that
school.
where they cut the body in half?
I think they just
No,
took
they
off the
skinned
skin.
it.
Yeah, it was all you can see the muscles and the veins and everything.
Something
People
I
are like-
remember from the
yeah.
bodies exhibit is there was an article I read about a little bit of like weird stuff about the bodies, like where did some of the bodies come from?
Oh, they donate their bodies to science. So
Yeah.
you can, so on the back of your driver's license or something like that, you can choose to donate your organs or your body to science.
I know, but
I looked
okay.
into that recently.
So like when you donate your body to science, it goes to the science center. But when you donate, because that's science.
Yeah, and you're in Ontario, so.
Bill Nye would say that that's like, I think it was that guy right there.
Bill
This-
Nye.
Yeah, right there. This guy is in the science center.
Okay.
Oh God.
And you can see
I
if you
can't
look at
find it, but I thought I read something a little weird about. Okay, where did some of the other bodies come from, though?
I mean, we were all born.
or like, did everybody really give permission for their body to be on
They
display?
had to.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
can't
I
just
think that's
do-
pretty dubious.
You can't just take somebody's body in Canada.
Okay, no. But before we
Display
do
them at
that,
the
let me
Science
find an
Center.
article because I ain't lying. I
Is,
remember
is,
this.
Is this relevant to the show?
No, it isn't.
Let's abandon it.
What's our next topic?
Okay, sorry guys, I got on the tangent.
Moving on.
Moving on. I did want to talk a little bit about Daniel's completion of the next phase of their redevelopment project. We got a building at Parliament Street, which was a big hole up until a couple months ago, and now they're actually beginning to
Fill the hole, right?
Fill the
It's
hole.
still a bunch
Still a
of
hole.
land.
Yeah.
But stuff's happening.
right.
Yeah.
The effort to revitalize Toronto's Regent Park community on the east side of Toronto downtown core began formally in 2006. Okay, when the Toronto TCHC selected the Daniels Corporation. It basically, the article says that Daniels eyes the completion of decades-spanning Regent Park projects. Daniels on Parliament. It looks very hoity-toity. Have you seen the plans?
I'd imagine it would look similar to the development across the street from St. Michael's Hospital on the west side of Bathurst, north of Dundas.
Take a look at it. What do you think?
Looks exactly
Yeah.
like that.
The thing that I found interesting is in the new Daniels on Parliament, they have an area called, well, you have to be a member, but then you have access to the special maker room, which is like an area an area you can go into
Is it like
and like do crafts.
is it like Legoland for kids? For adults?
Wait, when you say
For adults thinking about buying condos?
I think it's right here. Let me just scroll down. Here it is.
Yeah,
when
it
you say
looks
you
like
need to be
Legoland.
when you say you need to be a member, do you mean like if you're a resident, you also have to join up to this exclusive?
Trust me,
Nonsense.
bro.
It's
That's
like the
what
Homeowners Association of America.
along with offerings like a fitness center and co-working spaces, a prep kitchen and dining room, and a screen room, the Page One Club provides a number of one or more unique amenities, like a maker space.
So is it a working space, like a common, like you can rent it, or they don't want you to go there, so you buy a condo?
I think you already have your condo, and then you say, "Oh, I've got extra money around, and my kids like to create. I will buy
It's
a
the,
one club membership."
It's the Condo Arts and Crafts Center.
Right. So we shouldn't. I shouldn't be knocking it.
I'm just trying to understand it.
Yeah, it looks. Look at that. Real estate has become a hot.
You
hot
know, you
thing
can
in
get
Toronto.
40 acres in a house 6 hours north for $300,000,
Well, there you go.
but they won't tell you that.
True enough.
Sign up for the Arts and Crafts Center, everybody. You're gonna need it.
Guys, what do you want to talk about?
I don't know what time you started. How much of the show's left?
I'd say we have good.
We've got a good 8 to 12
Yeah,
minutes.
I was gonna say 7 to 9 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we were talking comedy earlier, but do
Yeah.
you have anything else on our list?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
This is the first time I'm not at the table, and so I have no board and also no computer. I'm just sitting here like
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna shoot my eyes over.
You
I'm
guys
like,
wanna
I don't know
talk
what's already
comedy?
been talked about. I don't know already know
Wait,
what
is
needs
there
to be talked
another-
about.
Did I talk about the syringes in Toronto?
Oh no, let's do that.
Did you talk
Okay.
about the warming room thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Real quick. I just wanted to. I was walking my dog the other day in the annex, and I went to go bend down and help clean up the city, and then sure enough, I saw like a needle, and like my dog was so close to the needle, and it was just a little bit, I was like, damn, like this is right in my backyard. Warmington used syringes in East End Toronto Park, just waiting to jab somebody. The harm reduction strategy employed now needs some modernizing.
I have an idea,
Talk.
just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
This is an issue that's not going to disappear. This is something we have to think about and embrace. You have to actualize this and tell your kids to look out for these things.
Right.
Think about a fluorescent orange hunter's jacket or hat. If you go to the store and you buy an orange fluorescent whistle, look at the color of that when you go to a park.
Yeah.
Put it in front of your eyes and then scan the park and see if you can find anything that matches that color, because that is the color of the caps to these needles. And if they're not capped,
Yeah.
you will
Ouch.
not see them.
Okay. That's
So
scary.
always check the areas surrounding parks before you let your kids run into the park and play in the sand, climb on structures. Check the structures before, because it's possible they could be anywhere. Think about Easter eggs and Easter, but needles.
Okay.
So just be mindful and pay attention and watch out. Open your eyes. Stay off your phone.
Yeah.
When you're in the park, stay off your phone. When you're with your kids, stay off your phone
Yeah.
as much as possible, and you will have a better chance of not running into needles. So
Interestingly,
stay off your phone and pay attention. That's all I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That's my best
interestingly,
advice.
enough, the park reference in that article is actually moderately close to my house. It's at Main and Gerard, which is like if I was taking the transit that I took today the opposite direction,
Mhm.
I would have passed that park. And I guess apparently like Main and Danforth is kind of like a rough and tumble ish area. I mean, somebody last year did get like shot there, and it's not like downtown where most of those things tend to happen. Although that happens everywhere these days. So like, I'm still thinking like it's 15 years ago in my brain.
It is an old school high rise community though, so there are
Yeah.
there's issues everywhere. But Maine and Danforth is I'd say watch out for sure. Just be mindful and pay attention to your surroundings, right?
The other thing that comes to mind is like I haven't investigated this whatsoever, but I remember back when I was living in Vancouver, that was the first time I was living in a place where I would regularly see needles kind of just about, and I was like, just thinking, I was like, that seems like unsettling and dangerous, but I wonder, is it actually? Because I often I challenge my own thoughts about everything, and the very cursory investigation that I did at the time was like, in general, apparently there isn't much of a risk to the average person, even if they were to like step on a needle that was just laying around for time.
I've stepped on a needle.
Yeah,
actually,
apparently, like
one of these.
like it's a huge difference between like actively sharing needles at time of use for whatever and just like happening upon one that's been there for a time. Like you probably the biggest risk would be like the injury from the puncture or an infection from like an unsanitary like abrasion of the skin. It's not like you're necessarily going to pick up some kind of bloodborne disease or something like that.
I think
again, to say that like I haven't recently confirmed this knowledge, but like that's to what I understand. But Dylan was just saying that
I think
he has to done a needle at once.
Yeah, I think the biggest risk is not talking about it.
Yeah.
I think you say needles and people are like but then you say tattoos and people are like cool.
Yeah, I know. Well said. I think this is actually a really good discussion, and Jesse, I'm glad you brought that up because I always had this fear that you get poked and instantly a disease will kill you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, now you have AIDS or now you have whatever, right?
Right.
It's like that's not. Don't know if that's how it works.
This is like real life,
Real life.
We just gotta pay attention, slow down.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Realize that nothing's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Too quickly.
Speaking of taking a deep breath and
Nice.
slowing down, I'm gonna do that this summer because when I come here to work or I go about my day, I'm seeing just like what we've been talking about, the expansion of the city. The city sounds.
Yeah.
Beautiful sounds.
A lot going on. I want to chill this summer if I can.
Yeah.
Go ahead, buddy.
I mean, I was just gonna add to that thing that Dylan was just saying. It's like everybody's afraid of needles and getting diseases from needles, but people seem to be totally fine having unprotected sex all the time. It's like pick your battles, right?
That's a whole other discussion, because we now have PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis.
Yep. And PEP also.
PEP, all these things.
And PrEP and.
But you're more likely to die walking on the sidewalk than flying in an airplane.
Yep.
All right. Well said.
It's like you gotta, risk management. You could make a whole book for life, but it'd probably be about 12 pages, 12 feet thick.
Yeah. 12 pages, that'd be amazingly
12
condensed.
pages, very concise.
I guess there's risks in just sort of like waking up every day.
I mean, even sleeping.
Yeah.
You
sleep
can die
the
in your
wrong way,
sleep.
Oh my God.
You block your airway.
Airplane could crash into Daniel Spectrum right now and end this broadcast and our
You
existences.
could trip on the sidewalk and knock your head. That's it.
Yeah, true. But we can't go about
You can't.
life like
you
that.
can't walk around being careful because then you'll never feel free.
No, of course.
If you always protect yourself, you'll always feel governed. But you should protect yourself in many different ways for many different purposes. But if you would just go for a walk, you shouldn't feel like you have to like watch your back.
True.
Or you're under your feet.
Yeah, or for needles.
Yeah.
Like I'm wearing a helmet when I go on my bike today, just as a precaution.
Yeah, because brain damage is real.
Yeah,
it's like you could die.
Yeah, true.
or not, which would be worse.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just like, have an accident and that's it, rather than like living and not able to move my body or whatever.
I think the point is, whatever ability you do have, use it to the best of your ability.
Okay.
Because we all get older and we all break down just like machines. Because we're not machines.
Right.
We're animals.
Made of bones.
You guys are real poetic today. I like it. And I've just been spewing nonsensical facts.
Well, where are we?
We are now at 5:05.
And we started at 40?
Yeah.
Or 45.
I'm seeing the Audacity thing, which is where you want to be looking.
So we're
actually,
about-
that's looks like there's about 4 minutes left.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
So, anybody?
Say again?
Anybody have anything?
Anything else there that you didn't get to before I showed up, or
we didn't get
can't
to
see.
the deer. Let me see here. When we talk about the vaccination clinics or the wellness clinics offered by CHC.
Hey, I got some news off the street. Maybe
Oh,
you already.
All right, go for
Maybe
it.
you already covered this one.
Talk about it.
But as I was just, I got a missed call from the library. I think.
Okay.
I don't know why. They want their books back.
I wish the library called me.
What do you got there,
it's just a
Jesse?
robot. I saw a poster for the Regent Park Social Development Plan Progress Report meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that news?
That's-
Wednesday, May 10th from 5 to 8 p.m.
Oh, good on you. Cool. I didn't bring that up.
Okay, it's a virtual and in-person meeting happening at Daniel Spectrum, where we are right now, the main floor, which is at 585 Dundas Street East.
Where we do our radio show through Radio Regent.
Yes.
right.
So if you can't or don't want to attend in person, there's a live stream at YouTube, which is being hosted by Hey Regent Park TV. That's our sibling organization.
Well, hey.
There's also a Zoom link, which is way too long and I won't give you. But if you do come in person, there's both food and childcare provided and language translation available upon request.
Score.
However, pre-registration is recommended for the event, and there's a QR code that, I mean, even if I point at the camera, you can't do that.
No.
That's way too far. But for more information, administrative coordinator. I guess there's some words missing for that sentence. 437-247-6799, or email sdp.regentpark@gmail.com.
Sweet.
And come join for entertainment and hear what the SDP is doing to build a better Regent Park.
Neat.
So that's, a ways away. It's May 10th, which is, I guess, actually not that far. It's only about 2.5 weeks.
Right.
If I may,
Go.
just one more time. Tonight. Oh, somebody
That's
tried
the
to call
Muzak
me.
there.
Somebody tried to call me just there.
What's happening?
Tonight there's a comedy show at the Groove Bar and Grill. It's 1952 Danforth Avenue. Show up or remove me from your friends list. That's what it says on the ad. The comedy will begin following the Leafs game. It's the 420 comedy show starting just after 9:30 p.m. at the Groove Bar and Grill, 1952 Danforth Avenue. Hope to see all 1,000 plus of you there.
Super cool.
I might be one of those 1,000s, hopefully.
Sweet. Last thing on the docket that we didn't touch on is TTC hydroelectric buses, which, Jesse, you brought to my attention the other day. The Toronto Transit Commission.
Hybrid electric?
Hundreds of hybrid
electric will receive, thank you, its first batch of 336 new hybrid electric buses this month.
Although hydroelectric buses would be sweet.
Right. I keep
That'd be
saying
amazing.
Hybrid.
Blastoise buses?
Yeah, something like that.
Big
It's got like a
water
waterfall on top that just perpetual motion or something.
Thank you. Hybrid electric. The additional buses will enter service starting in May and add significant capacity to the existing fleet, the commission says.
Bingo. Save many millions of dollars in diesel fuel, apparently.
You're getting length
Right.
and efficiency.
Right.
Everything.
Interesting.
An extra 20 feet.
I guess we're going to see in the future a lot more hybrid electric vehicles.
We're going to see a lot
potentially.
more buses, I guess.
Yeah, because there's going to be no streetcars.
Good thing they painted all those bus lanes in Scarborough.
Did they do that?
Yeah. It's the buses and bicycles. So you
Oh.
could take a whole lane in Scarborough and not worry because the bus will just go around you.
Whoa, I like
And
that.
if anybody else pulls up behind you, they get a big ticket.
What? I didn't know about that.
Interesting.
$400 or something.
That's great.
Prioritizing non-individual vehicles. Way to go.
Don't try and ride for free on the GO train. It's a $400 ticket. Don't try and ride for free on the TTC. It's a $425 ticket. grab a Presto, $6. Load it, $10.
You can actually certain Toronto Public Library locations in the subject of libraries
You
can
can
give
get it
away
cheaper.
free
Free
Presto
Prestos.
cards.
Oh, really?
The TTC will charge you $6 at the Presto machine if you go down to your library, take out a book, get a Presto card, jump on the bus, and read the book.
Yeah.
Cool.
You'll probably finish the book before you get there, but that's just a TTC joke.
It's a good one.
Lots of tidbits of information today.
Yeah.
Well, we're coming down to that time already.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I can't believe it.
here we are.
This is kind of officially our last show, but it's also not potentially the last show.
We're going to try and ride the wave
We're gonna
and
find
see
out
how
about
far
that.
we can go. We're
Yeah.
going to try and take this into next month,
That's right.
and we're going to just boogie board as long as this will take us.
Cool.
And then we'll be back.
Yeah. And thank y'all for joining us for what has been the ride so far, and we hope to see you on whatever the ride is going into that future.
Radio Regent.
That's right. I'm Ryan.
I'm Dylan.
I'm Jesse.
Thank you for joining us.
Shout out to the old school. No.
Just a little bit,
Something different.
funkier.
I am your angel. Keep your head up all through the day.